Hi, my name is Ponticello. I'm from the CISPA Helmholtz Center for Information Security, and I'm going to present our paper Exploring Authentication for Security-Sensitive Tasks on Smart Home Voice Assistants, which I worked on together with Matthias, Fassl, and Katharina. Now imagine the following. You just got back from grocery shopping, and you want to carry all the bags from the car into the house in just one trip. Wouldn't it be convenient if you could just ask your voice assistant, "Hey, unlock the front door, please"? Obviously, such an interaction would require some form of user authentication. Otherwise, anybody could just have free access to your home. Currently, smart home assistants such as Amazon Alexa require users to set up a 4-digit voice code, which they then have to say out loud anytime they want to authenticate. Obviously, such a system does not meet the security requirements we want to have in place when carrying out sensitive tasks such as controlling door locks or performing online banking operations, for instance. Therefore, the need arises for more sophisticated authentication mechanisms, which provide strong security and solid usability. So the goal for this paper was to lay necessary groundwork by determining the design space of smart home assistant authentication, which could in turn inform a user-centered design process. To this end, we conducted semi-structured interviews with 16 Amazon Alexa users. We enriched these interviews with 4 vignettes depicting varying scenarios. And finally, we evaluated our data using a semantic analysis approach. We found a number of threats that users were concerned about, as well as mitigation strategies that they would apply in order to protect themselves in certain situations. We also identified important aspects of an authentication system that were crucial for users in order to have a secure experience during the interaction. For the details, please refer to the paper. And I want to briefly highlight 2 key insights that we gained from our study. First, users described their ideal interaction with a voice assistant to have a certain elegance to it. Some compared the device to a butler tending to them. This elegance of use was for most participants the decisive factor for using a smart home assistant over a traditional system such as a smartphone or a personal computer. Therefore, new authentication systems should be compatible with what one participant referred to as the Alexa way of life, by being simple, unobtrusive, and elegant. Otherwise, users will most likely refrain from adopting new features, especially if they come with increased security risks. The second key insight is that users still lack trust in authentication schemes over less familiar input-output channels such as voice. For traditional channels and authentication mechanisms, this trust has been built up over an extended time of use, which our participants explained that they haven't had the possibility yet when it comes to voice assistants. One participant stated that there may be some issues with the payment method I'm currently using, but I've done it so often and I'm so familiar with it that I feel safer because of that. What our participants would do was try out the new authentication method and testing it using a trial and error strategy. For instance, they would disguise their voice and try to fool a voice recognition system. By doing so, they would gain experience faster and consequentially increase their trust in the system. The key takeaways from my presentation are that new authentication mechanisms are needed for the next generation of features coming to the voice assistant platform. These authentication mechanisms should keep the interaction simple and elegant as to not drive users away towards other platforms. And they should facilitate a trial and error strategy, for instance, by including a dedicated demonstration mode, which would allow users to gain trust faster. A final detail that I want to highlight about our study is that we interviewed one blind user of Alexa. And while we did not specifically target this demographic, this interview provided interesting and distinct insights. So this is definitely a worthwhile direction for future work to look into. With that, I want to thank you for showing up to my presentation. Feel free to read our paper and get in touch with us.